Move on to our next story. That's enough about jacking off for now. How about Jesse? Why don't you tell us your tale?
Okay. It was a dark and stormy night. A boy was walking in the snow with his loyal growler.
He was
On the outskirts
far from home.
On the outskirts of Ponyville, a dark shadow was cast.
Nate, don't try to appropriate my memes.
Forgive me.
It's my meme now, baby. I'm the puppy dog boy. You stole my career, so I stole your meme.
We can co-opt it.
Okay, my story is a story of perseverance through hardship, onwards to glory, onwards ascending to manhood, to godhood, fighting all obstacles, going through them, having sex.
No matter how many policemen tried to stop me, I got what I came for.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's gonna be a good story for Victor's book. The how to find how to get a relationship in just 6 easy years.
Right.
It sounds like
how
it'll fall into this
to
category.
escape the friend zone in 6 easy years.
Right.
That's
right.
what it is. Yeah.
It sounds like a great piece of fiction.
The friend zone's for life, baby. Believe it.
Shelve that away in the fucking fantasy section. And...
You know what they say? Real niggas stay friend zoned for life.
That's right. That's right. Hashtag babies. Okay, go on, Jess. What else? What else happened?
Okay, so this is it was way back in high school, and my best friend at the time was a girl whose identity I will protect, whose name I'll give her a fake name. Her name was Angela Lena.
Angela's mom.
Angela Lena. Yeah. Angelina Jolie. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So she was like my best friend. I had a super huge crush on her. I was totally in love with her, but I was very shy. I didn't know about how to make a girl like me. I was nervous. I thought that she would hate me if I, encroached upon our friendship more romantically, which is always true because women are psychotic.
True.
Right.
So I didn't know how to, make it go that next step. And we would go to like high school dances, and they would always be so horrible, and I hate them because I'd sit and I wouldn't, have the courage to ask her to dance or anything, and it was just lame, and I hated it all. And then I fucking eventually it was at senior prom, and she was
That's
there.
That's a make or break. All right.
Yeah, it was make or break. It's like, this is my last chance. If I don't have the courage to dance with her at the senior prom, then that's it. It's my last chance, and she's gone forever. I'll never do it. And I didn't do it. So I was sitting there.
Oh, just when I thought this was like the idyllic high school romance 80s film story.
Just wait. So it was at senior prom, and I felt like I was blowing my one chance, my last opportunity. I was sitting there sad. I was watching her, on the dance floor having fun. I was off at my fucking table with my friends, and I was feeling so low and so down in the dumps. So I just had to get up, and I had to walk out through the door out into like the patio, because we were at some fancy fucking prom place with like a a patio or whatever.
Right.
So I walked out the door out to the patio, and I just to just stand by myself and just mope around and gaze forlorn at the stars. And I was out there on the patio, and this other girl comes up to me who was 2 grades below me, so wasn't supposed to be at the prom, but I guess she had just snuck in there anyways to hang out because she was fucking, I don't know.
Some other guy's date, maybe?
I can hear a rumbling in the distance. I hear a chant coming over the horizon as the story continues. Sex with the young. Sex with the young.
Sex with the young. Sex with the young. Sex with the young. Sex with the young. Sex with the young. Sex with the young. Sex with the young. So I was feeling sad and rejected and lonely, and I felt like, I lost my chance. I'll be a virgin forever, whatever, And I was sitting there. I was standing out there on the patio, and this girl from 2 grades below me comes up, whose identity I will also protect. Audriana. She comes up to me, and I remember exactly what she was wearing. She was wearing this like beautiful like shiny emerald green gown. Her hair was like down to her ass. She had super long hair. She was magnificently pretty. She was a perfect specimen, perfect everything, body, young, hot, sex with the young kind of girl.
Jesse, how long was your hair at this time?
My hair was about as long as it is now back then.
I see.
So I was a long hair boy back then too. And so she comes up and she's pretty, and she's it turns out, like, I found out years later that like every girl in high school had a crush on me, but I didn't notice any of them because I had such a crush on my friend.
Oh, fuck.
So she came up
That's
to
the
me.
Victor story, isn't it?
Yeah.
This really is the 6 easy years story, except that you got it much quicker.
Well,
there was no friend zone here. Well, okay, go on.
So, yeah, I just remember she came up and she approached me and she talked to me and we just danced. Like, she danced with me alone out on the patio. It was like there was no one else there, and it was like this weird, like a romantic, like a teen movie, like a John Hughes moment of me, like, wow, that's a cool thing. But then, anyways, later in the night I got arrested, so I ended up never.
Jesus Christ!
I ended up not following up on that with her right away.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a whole big thing with guns and swords, and the cops, they took my sword. And I never got it back either because they put it in their fucking police station. We were fucking on. They had us in
cop tell you
hand-
They
to not
really took
fucking
your
touch
sword? That
swords?
wasn't a cautionary tales of swords joke?
No, that was no. We all.
Why did you have a
you
sword?
should be
from his
thankful,
real
Jesse.
life.
Because
You
I
should
went
be
to
thankful.
because I went to prom as a pirate. I had a sword.
This is a whole new dimension.
The cops took my sword.
Is that why the girl came up to you?
They
Did
had
she
me
wanna
and
be
all
your-
my friends. We were on our knees on the side of the road. We were laying on our
Oh,
bellies. I had like 12 fucking guns pointed at my head at one point. It was really scary and really traumatic. And they took my sword, and I lost my sword forever. And also so I didn't see Audriana for a fucking year after that. And also so it was like. So it was a year later, and by now I was, however old you are after high school, a year after high school, like 39 or something. So I was, so I was still a Virgo. all these long months after high school. So after that, so it was a year later, and we ended up getting kicked out of our house because of rent stuff, which is why we always get kicked out of the house. My life is just like an intermittent homelessness, peppered by like occasional sex with the young.
Right.
So like we were getting kicked out of our house. I know Ben can relate.
It's so true.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's a worthless human being. Okay, what else is going on?
Yeah, totally. Agreed on all counts.
Yeah, so we had to move. We had to get out of there. So my mom, we fucked around. My mom picked a house. She fucking in a little bit of ways. Turns out, out of complete happenstance, this house that we were now moving into was neighbors with the girl who danced with me
shit.
at the
man.
senior prom. So
Holy shit.
she
This
messages.
still counts as John Hughes level. I don't
Yeah.
think we've lost it yet.
Yeah.
It's got some extra plot twists,
Yeah.
but it's going in the right direction.
The action scene with the sword fight and the guns
Yeah.
was a nice little
right.
interim.
this is-
yeah, the
Maybe
fucking,
this is a little bit more Joss Whedon than. Does she die at the end?
my Scott Pilgrim sword fight at senior
Yeah.
prom that ended in bloodshed and carnage and tears. Yeah, so she messaged me on MySpace because that was the fashion at the time. I had an onion on my belt, and we were all using MySpace. And she messaged me on MySpace like, "Hey,
Onion on my belt.
What does that mean?
I know all about the onion on the belt. Us
Ben's-
old timers.
Us old timers.
Yeah. Back
okay,
in the
Grandpa.
day. Yeah.
That was the fashion at the time.
Yeah, you could get the yellow onions, but if you were the choice white onion, if you were a high class bloke,
What about red onions? Is that like
foreigners only.
Okay, all right.
That's how you knew they weren't from around here. They're red onion.
So fucking.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So fucking Audrey Lena fucking messages me on MySpace. She goes, "Hey, I guess you're moving in next door to me. Whoa!" And I'm like, "Oh my god! Second the young!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, totally, babe." I was real cool on MySpace.
Yo, on the surface he was calm. Oh, wait.
yeah.
But,
I had spaghetti all over me.
Yeah,
and
there
stuff.
it is. That's the
Yeah,
one.
there we go. That meme. So fucking.
I really blundered that one. All right.
So we moved into this house. It was a really cool fucking farmhouse with like a huge like a yard. There was cattle. There was like big old fluffy cows in the backyard and stuff. It was a cool house and it was a big old farm. Like and then like there was a fence at the top of a hill and you just hopped the fence and then you were at her house. So we started talking when I moved in and like let's fucking hang out and fucking hang out and fucking yeah. So I fucking. So she messages me one night while I'm there. She's like, "Hey, I had a big fight with my dad. My dad's a jerk. I hate my dad." I'm like, "Oh no, what's your dad like?" And she goes, so she starts telling me about her dad. So so I go over there. I climb the hill. I hop the fence. I go over to her yard. We sit on her back porch. We have to be quiet because her parents are sleeping. And so I'm just sitting there on her porch. I put my arm around her. She's like crying about her dad. I put my arm around her. We look at the stars together. We talk. We bond. At night, we gave a little kiss. Got a little kiss that night.
Nice.
And I
On the dick.
hey! Don't make my story. This is still an innocent. You don't sully it with your porn fantasies.
Yeah, you're still on the you're still playing the Marvin Gaye. You haven't yet switched over to the DMX.
I'm still.
That's right.
I'm still dabbing the lube on the butthole. I'm not pushing on it yet.
Yeah.
So I went back to my house and I went to bed that night feeling so fucking groovy. So like, yes, I have a girly friend. I'm gonna get more kisses. Maybe I'll even see a boob. I was so excited. So the next day, she comes over to my house and we start kissing more. Because now it's a thing that we do now, and now we kiss, and we were fucking making out. We started making out. I started touching boobs. I started touching her fucking body, pulling her, got her shirt off, got her fucking pants off. Started touching that little hairy 17-year-old puss.
And that's when
on it.
Altered being.
That's when through the air you just heard that one song coming out of the ether. I go hard in the motherfucking paint, nigga. I leave you stankin', nigga. What the fuck you thinking, nigga? Yeah, that was the one. That's what I hear.
No. This is the song I heard off in the distance. Bark, arf, bark, arf. I got a tiny little puppy dog erection. Stick it inside your tiny with no protection. So I was touching on the vagina. I was holding her smaller, her thin little frail, perfect little teenage body in my hands. Holding a young woman's body in your hands, feeling her skin in your palms. You just realize at that moment. I realized that this is the only thing that's real in life. Everything else is the fucking Matrix. This is all that there is. This is all that will ever matter to me. This is my desert of the real, and I am fucking Morpheus. I am Morpheus and Neo combined. I am the one. I am all the ones. I'm Jet Li combining all the ones into one.
Everyone
One
press
for Munchie. That's who I am. In that moment, my Christ consciousness levels skyrocketed to a plateau never seen before or since by anyone in history. Just
And
fucking holding that small young sexy sex with the young woman in my hands. Yeah! I can still fucking picture it in my mind's eye. It gives me power.
In that moment, in California, a being was created by the name of Munchie, who had all the powers of this Christ consciousness. That's
the
Munchie's origin
origin of
story.
Munchie.
Yep, that's where he comes from.
So we were getting real hot and heavy, me and this girl, and I was touching that little vagina. I was touching those boobies, and then I got the blow job. I got the blowj, people.
Nice.
The
The blowj.
I got a nice. I got just that perfect, inexperienced, toothy 17-year-old blowj. The best thing that you can experience in life.
Très magnifique. Mwah.
Yes. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah,
So-
it's pretty cool.
So when do you actually get laid?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. This story has layers. It has chapters. It's a saga.
It's an onion, like Shrek, right? Okay.
Mine
This
was like a
story is like
sentence and a
Shrek.
half.
Yeah.
This story is almost as good as Shrek. Yeah.
So yeah. So we were doing the stuff.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll.
Hey, depending on what year this was, that could very well have been playing. I know Jesse was a big Smash Mouth fan.
Shrek is just the story of Jesse's life in ogre form.
Taking girls back to my Astro Lounge and
That's
sexting
right.
with the young.
In the fucking swamp dungeon.
But no. Back then in my old house, I lived in the upstairs. It was very different. Yeah, I had like a patio on the roof that I could walk out into with a door. It was awesome. It was tops Blueby. But anyways, you know, we were at my house, and I was touching on the vagina there, and then we went and we hopped the fence over to her house, and that's where I got the blowj. So I got the blowj at her house, but she goes, oh boy, my dad's gonna be home any minute. You gotta get on out of here. So I fucking left, and I walked home feeling good. Oh my god, I got a blowj. I got a fucking toothy 17-year-old blowj. Oh my god. And I went to my fucking house, and I went to bed that night feeling like, any day now, I'm gonna have the sex, the real sex. The next day, she sends me a long message on MySpace.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
We went too far, too fast.
Oh, no!
I'm not ready for this.
Sex with the young.
Sex with the young.
Sex with the young.
It was a mistake. Sex with the young is a mistake. Don't do it.
Sex with the young! It was tragically ripped away from me!
80 years later, Jesse still crawls the land to this day looking for blowj.
Crawling through the desert, malnourished, dust on my breath. Sex with the young! Fucking wandering the streets of the city of fallen angels, wandering with my little cup full of spare change. Sex with the young, sir! Can anyone spare some sex with the young?
Jesus.
The sheriff of Nottingham comes and pushes me in the mud and says, get a job. He takes all my fucking spare sex with the young out of my cup.
Like,
You almost had a whole one.
There's that Clockwork Orange scene where your two old high school buddies who were your droogs, they find you out on the street. They drag you to the fucking bathtub and just drown you for fun, just to watch you suffer. We've got sex with the young. Where's your sex with the young?
Every time Jesse comes close to having sex with the young, it triggers the memories of the program he went through, and he has to,
That's right.
he becomes paralyzed, and his dick falls off, and he just can't even do anything.
I hear the fucking Beethoven.
No, they play fucking Macklemore. No, stop it, please.
No. Yeah, I hear they gave me the fucking Ludovico technique where they fucking played that Macklemore song telling me I have too much white privilege, and I flash back to it. No!
Now whenever I try to have sex with a young, I have to read an article.
Little did they know that would create the greatest white privilege warrior the world had ever seen.
So,
All right, Jesse, I gotta know.
Yeah, what the fuck else happened?
I need Act 3.
so she broke up with me, and I was fucking devastated. Not just because I liked this girl and my heart was broken, but also because I was so fucking close
Yeah,
to
so
losing my
close.
virginity, and it was ripped away from me tragically. So as a young man would do, as like a however the fuck old I was, 19, 20, 39, whatever the fuck I said.
I raped her.
Yeah, of course. She owes you. She owes you at this point. It's time to take what she owes.
Well, you know, I flipped out. I was not mature enough to handle it. I was blown away that I had gotten so close. So of course I begged and I pleaded and I did all the the beta cuck
You
shit. I
begged
was
for
very
sex?
pathetic. No, I didn't beg
you
for
Jay
sex. I
Bauman?
begged for her to get back with me.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Thought it was Jay Bauman back
I
in
wouldn't
high
blame you,
school.
though. I beg for sex every day.
Yeah,
It's my favorite thing to do.
So the breakup got really ugly and really weird. It got really horrible. She ended up like telling like all of her friends at
Oh,
school
God.
that I was like a bad guy or like a creep or a pervert or something.
Oh, God, what the fuck?
It was fucking terrible. Fucking,
Bitch,
I remember.
you got buyer's remorse.
Yeah, this one guy who was like a friend of both of ours. I'll say his name, Chris Peters, because he's a fucking piece of shit cuck, and I hate him, and I hope he
Fuck
burns
you,
in hell and
Chris
dies.
Peters. Yeah.
I hate him to this day. You know, he was like a friend of both of ours, and he sent me this message one day, like out of the blue, like calling me like a sick pig, you sick motherfucker, you're fucking, and he's running down all these like made up rumors of the stuff that I supposedly did.
Typical orbiter behavior.
Yep, exactly.
She's the one who sucked your dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's the pervert.
You know,
He
he's
coerced her though. He was too sexual of a man. It's his fault. He's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
It was
seductor.
too long.
Yeah.
I was too irresistible, you know.
Yep.
I made
That's a
her
crime.
abandon her scruples, and she couldn't take it. She had to lash out at me. So I was like persona non grata. I was like fucking ostracized. My personal and professional reputation was ruined in my own
Naturally.
hometown.
Naturally.
Everyone hated me. You know, I was banned from the theater. I was banned from the high school, even though I had graduated a year earlier. They had to keep me away from all the young.
I'm sure they revoked your key to the city at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, right.
They tore down my statue. So at this point, I'm just like a shell of a man. I'm just a fucking broken boy. I'm walking around. I'm just a fucking sad. I'm a lost puppy dog boy howling at
Yeah,
the fucking
yep.
moon. Bark arf, bark arf. I'm fucking lost in this world. I have no one, and I'm like, this is it. I'm never gonna lose my virginity. I'm gonna be like this alone. It's never gonna happen for me. You know, I had gone through high school watching all my buddies, you know, one by one high-five each other. One by one, they all had that morning, walking in and high-fiving each other at the fucking lunch table, and every fucking time, there were more high-fives that I wasn't a part of. I had to fucking, you know, that does something to a boy. You know, watching everyone lose it but you, and then you get so close, and and I was just hopeless at this point. I was on my fucking rock bottom. And I was like that for a whole nother year of like, when's it gonna happen? And so then, you know, and during that time, I kept trying. I just kept fucking, you know, when I fucking saw a girl on Facebook, I'd message her. I'd try so hard to make conversation with girls.
Oh God, Facebook came around by this point. That's how long it took. Oh.
Yeah. Yep. I think the Dear John letter I got from Audriana was the end of MySpace for me, as I had to go to Facebook at that point. You know, and so the year went by, and there was all kinds of, you know, more awkward, terrible fucking things. There was a fucking thing with a girl that I fucking spooned with one night, and it got weird. And she got mad at me, and they ruined my reputation even more. There was like 5 girls that I tried to rape, but they all beat me up because they all knew karate. One time, it was fucking... Damn it. All these karate girls got off a bus, and I thought they were regular girls, and I could rape them, but it turns out they were karate girls.
If it would any other bus, it would have worked like a charm, but not this bus. Fate it wasn't in the cards in this day.
And who's just gonna try the next bus? Like at this point, you're so demoralized.
You're
do the
all
same thing
battered
again.
and beaten up, and you just
You're like the Wile E. Coyote trying to get sex, and boulders keep falling on your
Yes.
sometimes you just gotta know when to call it quits and cut your losses.
All these damn Acme broads, they always backfire on you.
What is the Roadrunner cartoon but an allegory for male sexuality? That's really what it is at the end of the day.
I mean, we all know that a girl's version of karate is to kick you in the balls, so he probably had, like, his balls were probably just in pieces at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like this story is reminiscent of How I Met Your Mother, where like 8 seasons of the story have nothing to do with what happened.
And the people are still clamoring for more at the end of it. They don't want it to ever end.
That show had the weakest last 3 seasons I've ever seen.
They say, God damn it, Jason Segel, tell a new story, please. Don't
That
abandon
wasn't
us.
Jason Segel, it was Bob Saget telling the story.
I never
that's
watched
bad,
that
yeah.
shitty fucking
Learn
show.
your
I
How
don't
I
know.
Met Your Mother lore, you stupid
I would
fuck.
rather fucking die than watch that shit. That fucking
Robin
cock
was
show.
It has that Patrick O'Neill, what's his name?
Yeah, it's not even a real
Yeah,
anime.
that
Guy,
Harris.
he makes
Patrick
funny
Swayze.
meme jokes, dude.
All right, I need to know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Neil
into
Patrick
it.
We've hit our
Harris. It was Neil
lowest
Patrick
point,
Harris.
so
That's the guy.
surely
yeah.
we're
Neil
near the
Patrick
climax.
Harris.
So I desperately tried. I tried for a year, still try and make conversation with a girl. I finally got a girl to be like responsive to me, and it was another girl who had apparently had a huge crush on me in high school and never said anything about it because I guess girls just think, they don't have to say anything about it. It's my fault somehow. Fuck you. There's another girl who finally is like, okay, I got her to come over. I got her to come over to my house. There's another girl whose identity that I will protect. I'll give her fake name, fucking Secretariat. So this beautiful, gorgeous young horsewoman comes over to my house to hang out, and we just started kissing, and we just started making out. And I remember my bed was a futon, and it was currently in couch mode, so we were laying in the couch. On the couch in my room with the lights off. We were just making out and touching each other more and more for hours and hours. And I got her clothes off. By the way, I have basically a flawless record except for that first time. Always sex on the first date, and ever since then no one will ever stop it. We were fucking touching, we were making out, and I got it in her. I got it right in her.
You got it.
Mumkey, you were absolutely right. The story had nothing to do with the ending. The whole thing was just a big fucking shaggy dog.
Well, see, that's what I was saying at the start. When you're talking about a man losing his virginity, you're describing a story of a man's entire life. That's right.
You Philistines. You needed the emotional arc to find out. Yeah. Without the emotional arc, you just get a Ben story where it's like, oh yeah, I can do it.
That's right. And that's what the people fucking want. That's what the people fucking want. They want clear, concise, sterile Ben stories.
Your story was awful.
My fucking ass.
My story has a fucking human element that people can relate to. That's why people fucking love me. That's why I get the patron dollars more than Ben does and always will. That's
Ben,
why
I when you began telling your story, I went out to get some tea, and it took 2 minutes, and I missed the whole story.
I understand people. I know how to connect with people on an emotional level, and so as I was saying, Ben
wasn't here for Nate's story, which had the entire story of him going to Japan and coming back.
That is super relevant. That is super relevant. I wanted to say about this story too.
Look, I could have gone on about my life story leading up to when I went to college and met a girl and all that shit, but it's not relevant to the actual act of how I lost my virginity.
It's totally relevant. You have to know the fucking emotional arc. You gotta know about the fucking John Hughes prom. You gotta know about the fucking police cops who took my sword away. You gotta know about the fence that I had to hop a fence. You got to know everything, man.
I think Ben might have elaborated more if he had heard the story.
This is a story
I think I would have, and now I'm kind of fucking lamenting that I didn't fucking know what I was fucking
maybe
supposed.
You should be on time to the fucking PCP.
This is a story that spans from MySpace to Facebook.
The greatest expanse in human history.
I'm just look, God damn it, I could have spun a yarn. I could have spun y'all a yarn, but now it's too late. Fuck y'all. You don't deserve it.
I don't care. Shut up. I'm not even done. We were making love, me and this fine young mamacita. We were making sweet love on that couch in the dark. We made love for fucking 8 hours. My mom came home and she's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. I'm making love to a beautiful young woman in here. Ma, get out of here. Ma, get out. And I'm fucking making love, and it was that very special kind of awkward and terrible, but also passionate and awesome first time sex that can only happen that one special night in your life with that one special girl. And so we did it, and so then after I took her home, I came home, and I was so amped that I just started eating everything in the house. I ate all the food in the whole house. I fucking opened up a can of beans, like fucking Skull Monkeys, cold beans, a cold can of beans. I just fucking devoured it like an animal. I was a man possessed. I was fully in touch with the primal manimal beast. The ancient thing deep in my lizard brain had awoken. And so then the next day, she came over, and we watched Rambo 2. We watched Rambo First Blood Part 2, and then we did it a million more times, and then we dated for a couple years, and it was a good time, and it was the most important story ever, better than Ben's, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. I think everybody's is better than Ben's.
You
Ben's wasn't even really a story.
You fucking faggots.
Supposed to be working right now. I'm supposed to